Hey, this is H1. We're going to be running it back with another episode talking about chess knowledge, chess wisdom, and chess understanding. And today I got a game for you. Robert Bourne against Bobby Fischer. Yes, Robert Bourne is going to be the white pieces. Bobby Fischer is going to be the black pieces. Let's get into it right quick. Yes, sir. All right, let's get into it. So Bourne decided to play d4. Bobby Fischer decided to play knight f6. Now knight f6 does go into like the Indian defense, and we're not going into no queen's gambit. We did push the queen's pawn, so it is part of the queen's pawn opening, but I digress. Let's get into it right quick. After knight f6, we got c4. After c4, g6, g3, c6, and then bishop g2, d5, targeting the center already with the big d5 push. We're probably going to bring this bishop out here. Let me get my trusty stick. We're probably going to bring this bishop out here to get developed. Probably knight to d7 or knight a6. I don't know what Bobby Fischer is going to do. I can't predict his moves. It's Bobby Fischer, the greatest player in the whole entire world and back in that time. So let's just see what he did. After playing d5, Bourne decided to say, hey, I'm going to take that pawn off the board. What you going to do about it after I take the d pawn off the board with my c pawn? Well, let's get into it right quick. Let's see what is Bobby Fischer's response to that. After that d5 pawn was snapped off the board, we got c takes d5. So Bobby Fischer was like, I'll snap that pawn back off the board. What are you going to do about it? After that, we got knight c3, bishop g7, e3, kingside castle, knight g e2, knight c6. We're almost to the middle game. Knight c6. Kingside castle, b3, not b3, after kingside castle, b6. So Bobby Fischer has decided to double fianchetto both bishops, maybe? And then we got b3. So both sides decided to double fianchetto their bishops for some reason because they wouldn't be doing the moves b3 or b6 for no reason at all. Or maybe Bobby Fischer might be going to bishop a6. We don't know. We don't know yet. So in this position, it's kind of weird. White, I usually tend to like white's position in these types because I like having the fianchetto on the king side and I like all my pawns being on like the dark squares. And plus two, there are some pawn breaks that can happen like f3, e4, and I love having a knight on e2 instead of f3 so that I can have the option to push up the f pawn. So those are some tips of why going knight g e2 might be better than going to knight f3. And then black's position is cool too. I'm pretty sure it's like completely balanced in the chess engine. So this is only which side do you like more. It's not who's better yet. You know, there's no moves that people made a mistake on yet. So what was black's next move? What was Bobby Fischer's next move? Well, let's get this bishop in the game. This bishop goes to a6 and then white's bishop goes to a3. And they decided to have both of their bishops dang near attacking both of their sides. So we got this bishop on a6 on the a6 to f1 diagonal, and this knight is pinned. And we got this bishop on the a3 f8 diagonal. The only thing is it's not really threatening anything on this diagonal. And this e pawn is pinned, but clearly Bobby Fischer knew what he was doing because he just did a rook e8 and pretty much is going to make this diagonal useless. Dang near useless. After rook e8, it's important to recognize what is the idea behind it. What is black trying to do? He's a grandmaster, so each move have a purpose. What are they trying to do? Well, if you didn't notice yet, after rook e8, we're trying to get this pawn to e5 to do this pawn break to control the center. And you know when you're controlling the center, you will get close to controlling the game. Whoever controls the center in chess controls the game. That's kind of one of the advantages you should be striving for in a chess game. So after rook e8, queen d2, e5 was played. E5 was played targeting the center. Bobby Fischer was known to be an aggressive player, and that's why he played this way, to overwhelm your opponent to make a mistake. After e5 was played, we got d takes e5, knight takes e5, and what do we think about this position? Is it fair? What is white doing? What is their next plan? I don't even know. Well, white decided to do an inaccuracy by going to rook fd1. And you're not going to believe this, but actually, instead of going rook fd1, it's actually, and this is why I hate computers, it's actually better if the rook at a1 goes to d1. And you're going to see why in a second. You're going to really see why. And so after rook fd1, which is an accuracy, it's a bad move, we got black doing knight d3. After knight d3 was played, white decided to do the worst mistake possible in this game by going queen c2. When you see moves like queen c2, just simple moves like just threatening to capture the knight back, and white would have loved if this knight would have just went back, because they could have took this pawn and it would have been all Gucci. Like Bobby Fischer would have lost this game, and we would have never known who Bobby Fischer was if he would have lost this game against Bourne. Now, after queen c2, you're probably guessing, what was the mistake? What happened? Well, you remember when I was talking about how moving the rook from f1 to d1 was the mistake, wasn't a small inaccuracy because the rook at a1 should have been at d1? Well, Bobby Fischer decided to capitalize on that mistake by taking the pawn on f2. And now the whole game is messed up. What is going on here? So if this rook was still at f1, you could have defended easily, but Bobby Fischer, the expert that he is, decided to capitalize on that small mistake, that small slither, is that the word? The small mistake that white opened up for him. And he did it. He sacrificed on f2. Can't the king just take back and it could be a regular game? Isn't white just winning? No, white is not winning. Actually, this is a position that is -6 on the chess engine. How is it -6? Well, let's get through the game right quick. What happened after this knight took on f2? After this knight took on f2, king takes f2, right? We got king takes f2, knight g4 check. After knight g4, we have king g1, and then knight takes e3. And we're in a pretty sad state in our position right now. What is going on here? Well, let's go over it. Let's go over our evaluation board. So we know as the black pieces, we sacrifice material and then we gained more time. Now, if you can look at our position very closely, we are definitely controlling the center more than our opponent, even though we have one pawn in the center. Our opponent, which is the white pieces, have no pawns in the center, and they can't even capture this pawn. They don't have time to, because I'm threatening their queen, or Bobby Fischer's threatening their queen. Dang, I like to compare myself to Bobby Fischer. You know, I try to be on the winning side. That's the only side that I want to be at. And you should want to be there too. And now we got this rook on the E file. We got this queen on the D file, protecting this pawn. Maybe this queen can get into like a more energetic square, but who cares right now? We got this rook not doing nothing. But in this position, we got these bishops eyeing down on these long diagonals, which are pretty amazing. Just Bobby Fischer and his bishops are, he's sick with them, right? I don't know how somebody can not love bishops. That's crazy to me. Why would you choose a knight over a bishop? That's insane. This isn't modern day. What am I looking for? But this isn't modern day chess. They didn't have computers back then. The bishops were king. The bishops were king back then, and you all still decide on knight. But anyway, this knight is right here. And so here's the thing. Let me get this blue marker. We got more space, even though that was already there. I just missed it on the last thing that I went over. But anyway, we got space. We got center control. Let me just make that like a blue little, yeah, blue minus. We got center control. We definitely have more king safety now, and we sacrificed some material for it. So we're down to material. And do we have a better pawn structure? Well, we do have more pawns. Does that contribute to us having a better pawn structure? Let's just add it on there just to make Bobby Fischer look good. But anyway, in this position, there is no hope for white except for doing some dumb, pathetic moves, just praying for black to do a mistake. Let's see if Bobby Fischer decided to give white some leeway after queen d2. After queen d2, we're going to take this fianchetto bishop on g2, or Bobby Fischer, that's what he decided to do. Let's see what happens after this. Did white decide to take the knight on g2? Is it all a trap? Maybe so. It probably is. Most likely it is. It's Bobby Fischer, for crying out loud. So after king takes g2, and you see this right now, king takes g2, d4, pushing this lonely pawn down, knight takes d4, pretty much the only move to defend, and now this king is just naked. There's some checks in the area. What is going on here? After knight takes d4, we got bishop b7 check. Targeting this long diagonal. So now we got both of our Fiend Kettle bishops on this long diagonal taking over the position, and we're still controlling the center. We still have more space, and all of white's pieces is on his queen side instead of protecting the king on the king side. What's going to happen here? Well, king f1, and what's the best move after king f1? Don't we have queen f6? I'm trying to predict these moves for you too. I'm trying to predict these moves for you too. I don't know what's next. After king f1, we got queen d7, and then white decided to resign. Why did white decide to resign? Why did white decide to resign after this? Well, we got moves like queen h3 coming in. What moves can white really do? Let's just look at some more moves to figure out how the game would have ended if they would have played the best moves. Let's do that right quick. Well, if white would have continued this game, and we're just gonna put the stick up, I don't even need the stick anymore. They would have probably tried to trade the queen by doing knight d to b5. And after this check, queen h3 and king g1, then we got this awesome move, bishop h6. And if this queen moves out the way, the best move in this position is doing knight d5 and giving away the queen. But if, let's say, queen moves out the way, then we got this sickening move, bishop e3, attacking the king. The only move to get out of this check is moving the queen to f2. So you're basically losing a queen in this position because of the queen right here, the bishop right here on h6, and then the awesome bishop on b7, and the only rook on the e file. And none of these pieces are protecting the king right now. And so this is how awesome of a player Bobby Fischer was, and you should be learning from him.